Hey guys, what's going on? We're here again at Sideways. Where is it? At Sideways Motorsport today. We're getting a full big boy tune done today. I can hear a car that I think is my Stagea on the dyno at the moment, so let's go and check that out, hey?
Hello, sir.
That is loud as all hell. Basically at the moment Christian has everything run up. It's making, I think the most power that it's made so far is 362 horsepower. And that was on about 20 pounds of boost on normal pump 98 petrol. So that was last night. So at the moment, now because it's a bit warmer today, the air temps are sort of affecting how much power he can make without knocking. So he was experiencing a little bit of knock at that power level. So he's just dialing in a bit of a difference to the ignition timing, dialing it back a little bit, and just trying to get through that mid-range without causing any detonation. He's going for another run now. Have a look.
Pump the tank and get some E85 in there. Woo! It's time to get some E85 in this motherfucker.
Alright, so we just went to get some E85 and I'm not scared at all. Alright, so Christian's just setting up the flex scalings now at the moment.
Yes, that is correct, sir. So just doing both fuel and ignition and just setting up the ethanol percentage scalers. So I actually do them slightly differently. So on ignition, I don't actually enable any ignition change until after you've got 10% worth of ethanol in there, whereas fueling I'll actually start sooner. And that's just for me a bit of a safety. I like to play with the timing until we know we've definitely got the ethanol percentage in there to support it. That's all set up. So now we're just going to start flushing the tank and make sure we get the ethanol percentage up so we can tune on as close to 85% as possible. Just let it ease out so we don't want to have petrol squirting everywhere. Like that. Now, I know this looks a bit unorthodox, but it works amazingly. So this is why I do it this way.
Oh, the jiggler.
Jiggler.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got that on camera. Pretty good little motion you got there.
Mate, as a male, you have to have a good motion. So we're going to put a couple of litres in until we get just enough in there to start draining the tank out.
Oh, so you drain it again?
Multiple times, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So what actually happens is, especially with like 34s, 15s and stuff, because you actually have a tank on both sides of your rear seat and it has a big hump in the middle, you can never get the fuel out from the passenger side. So this is why I have this little system, and what it does is lets us cycle through until we actually get proper ethanol percentage. If I was to empty it and put ethanol in, you'll end up, depending on the car, anywhere between E30 to about E50. And if I tune on that and then you keep filling it up, you'll go lean, and that's no good for anyone. What we do is we slowly put little bits in. Otherwise, if you put that whole thing in, you've wasted that 20 litres and you're still not at 85, you're going to dump it all again anyway. So at the moment, like I said, that's at 45% at the moment. And that's getting to the point where the pump doesn't pick it up.
So we're currently removing what's left of the 98 fuel from the tank, just from the fuel rail, running that into a can and replacing that with E85 going into the tank at the other end. It's currently up to about 45% ethanol, and Christian's just having a look at the tune. Obviously, as the amount of ethanol in there increases, the tune is going to be off. We're just going to keep slowly increasing the amount of ethanol that's in there and see how it goes, but you can definitely smell it going through now. Oh.
Out of here. here so it doesn't make a nice big mess. And if you want, while you're waiting, you want to chuck that other red can in there and you can use the jiggler with your hand movements.
I would love to use a jiggler.
You know.
We're waiting all day for a jiggle.
That's what she said.
That suddenly got heavier than I was expecting. Jiggle faster?
There you go. So once it started, get the air through, it should be a siphon.
Oh, there you go, done.
You got a good back. Hey? You got a good back. 79%. Nice.
Premium.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune it first without making any ignition corrections on your boost. I'll have a little play with your cruising. And then I'll do a power run for you so you can actually see the difference that E85 just makes on its own completely.
Oh,
and then I'll put some timing in and so you can actually look at the difference there.
So at the moment, Christian's got this up to about 80% ethanol, which is what he says is usually about the go for normal pump E85, at least around here anyway. He's just going through and making a few small changes just to be able to run the ethanol, but he's not changing a whole bunch of stuff in terms of adding timing and really pushing things that far. So now he's going to start loading things up and just see how it goes with ethanol and start dialing things in from there. So just by changing to E85, we've picked up about 10% more power and earlier response without changing any timing. So the same boost, the same timing, just adjusting the fuel for the E85 that's now in there, or E80 or E79 or whatever it is. Now Christian's changing some of the timing around and hoping to pick up a few more horsepower.
Up to 2.5, 3 degrees of timing.
Yeah, right.
Was that jump there. So already from going E85 then, if you look at this bit, it's gone from being able to go E85, so 330 up to 390.
Yeah.
We'll do one more, make sure those lines are all there so we want them, and then we'll have a look at putting some more boost into it.
Alright, so that pull was 392 horsepower with a couple of degrees added up top. Here we go again.
That might have been I-18.
Oh, yeah. I was up to 43 again now, yeah. So that pull we lost 10 horsepower, and looking at the data, the intake temperature has climbed up almost another 10 degrees over the temperature on the previous run. So he's built in compensations to account for different intake air temps. So that's cool. I think we're just letting things cool down a little bit now, and we're going to try again. And he's talking about upping the boost a little bit as well. So that's cool. It's exciting. It's stressful, but more exciting. $400. Change that time.
On timing at the end, it sounds like it's screaming a little bit more now.
Yeah. Why is that? More timing. Oh. You just said the thing. So we just made 426 horsepower then, and that was just with a small change of disabling VCT slightly earlier. But it was actually starting to pick power up at the tail end, and Christian realised that that was about the point where the VCT turns off in the tune. So he thought, hey, hang on, let's bring that point forwards by about 500 RPM or so, and it bumped up the rest of the power curve following where the VCT turned off. So we picked up about another 20 or so horsepower there as well. The 426 horsepower at the moment on the E85 on 20 pounds of boost. This run is now 22 PSI. So we're about 20 and like that.
No, I always tend to set about 3 pound above my desired pressure.
Right.
Now that we're targeting set desired pressure, yeah, to hit a cut, right? That's an overboost cut. So originally I had overboost cut pressure at 23 pounds. We're targeting 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Just gives the engine a bit of room if there's any air fluctuations. Like it's okay to get to that, but we want to cut it at that. Now that we're targeting a high boost pressure, I forgot to change the boost cut. So that's what that little cut was.
Okay, so that last run made 439 horsepower at 22 pounds of boost, and I just asked, hey, do you think we'll make 450? And Christian just looked at me and went, yeah. In fact, I want to try another 2 pounds of boost. So I think the plan now is to dial in another 2 pounds of boost, go for 24 pounds of boost, and to see how that reacts. This has been quite the experience. I'm loving the way it sounds. I'm hoping it survives.
Nervous, aren't you?
A little bit nervous.
You'll be fine.
How could you tell?
Oh shit!
Just a look of panic on my face.
Although we're increasing the boost and we are getting a really nice flat boost curve, I am being still a bit gentle in the mid-range with regards to timing, given we know it's got 26 standard rods in it. The torque they're making, I'm happy with what that's making at the moment, so I'm happy to try a little bit more boost. Ravi's a bit doesn't want to put it in, but let's see what she does. At that point, you can say the head's probably a little bit tapped out, or the setup's tapped out. Yeah. The extra boost really isn't making any difference. Short of maybe putting a new exhaust manifold on some cams, help open it up a little bit.
Sure.
But I think we leave it at 22 and call it a day. Sure.
24 PSI, the extra 2 pounds of boost, we actually made 5 horsepower less. It made 434 that time. The previous run on 22 pounds, it made 439 horsepower. So we're turning the boost back down to 22. Obviously this is the upper end, so 22 PSI, it's making pretty comfortable power. Any more than that and it just starts blowing hot air. It's impossible to show this in a video, but the amount of heat that I could feel building up in that dyno room from the last few runs, even just from start to finish of the run, like that, I don't know, 10 seconds or so, the whole room just fills up with hot air. It's crazy. I think 22 PSI, I'm pretty comfortable with that. So Christian is now just playing with some timing just a little bit, and see if we can't bump it up to that 450 mark and call it a day there. So either way, 440, 450 horsepower, it's pretty crazy for a Stagea. I'm absolutely stoked. This guy's a wizard.
There's your 24-pound runway, which we went up to 61.
Yeah, okay, just way more heat.
Yeah. So it's just less efficient, we're just creating more heat and we're not getting the benefits out of it.
Yeah, right. And obviously just adding more danger at that point. For no
well,
benefit.
again, the hotter the air temps, the more exponential prone to detonation.
There you go, 452 horsepower in this Nissan Stagea.
That's all the way. That was all the way.
So there you go guys, 452 horsepower is the magic number from my Stagea. She is back in the garage now with me. We kind of got a little bit distracted after that last video. We hit that power number. Christian quickly tidied up a few things, and then we actually hopped in the car and went for a bit of a road test. So that was really, really cool. I finally got to drive this car that I've been building for the last couple of years with my mates under full power on the road. So that was a really cool experience and something I'm not going to forget anytime soon. So I kind of got to drive it. Christian had the laptop hooked up in the passenger seat and was just checking things as we were going and was making me basically go to redline over and over again. And that scared the crap out of me, but I got used to it and got used to spinning second gear and third gear in rolling burnouts, which is pretty cool as well. So this motor that I've built for this car is probably capable of a little bit more than that 450 horsepower. And it's probably capable of bringing the power in a little bit earlier as well. If I get a chance, I'll drop a dyno graph in somewhere here so that you can see the torque curve that I'm dealing with here. The torque seems to come in a little bit late, which it's fine. It's not hard to drive. I'm probably already quite used to it, to be honest. The reason that the torque comes in late is because of the choice of some of the parts that are on the car. So is it worth spending the money on that? I'm not sure. It might be rough ballpark of about $5,000 or so to replace all those parts. So new intake manifold, a set of cams, new exhaust manifold. I then have to get the exhaust, refabbed to fit the new exhaust manifold. So probably looking somewhere around $5,000 or so, and I might make an extra 50 horsepower. I don't know if that's worth doing, but at this point, I'm liking the car as it is. I do have to give a massive shout out to Christian, because the way that he tuned that car and kind of got around all these issues, still turned it into a really drivable car. I absolutely love. Big ups, dude. Thanks so much for all your help. And I gotta say, there's a big difference between dyno tuners like Christian and some of the other dyno tuners that I've seen in the past. Christian was really happy to explain everything and kind of look at my setup and just say, hey, yep, cool, we can make it work. Massive thanks to Christian. I would highly recommend that people go see him for all your tuning needs. And I just have to say, none of these videos were like sponsored by Christian or by Sideways Motorsport. I just really appreciate the work that he does. I think he does a great job. So anyway, thanks very much for watching these videos, guys. Really do appreciate you guys, hanging out, spending the time to watch me build this car, then break it, and then build it again, and then break it again, and finally get it up and running and hitting the dyno where it's made some moderate power. So yeah, really, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I hope that you do like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Oh, the jiggler.
Jiggler.